Every summer, our garden gives us the gift of fresh green beans. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I can them so our family can enjoy that same crisp garden flavor all winter long. Once the buckets are full, we like to trim both ends and cut them into bite-sized pieces. Now you can leave them whole if you like the rustic look, but I find smaller pieces fit into the jars better and are perfect for soups and side dishes later. Once we have a good amount of the beans cut, we wash them well to remove any garden soil or debris. Clean jars are key to safe canning. I always wash my jars and pans in the dishwasher, and then I take them out just as I'm ready to put things in them. This way helps keep the jars warm, which helps it so they won't crack when they're filled with hot liquid. Now I know some people like to blanch their beans first, but I only blanch if I'm going to freeze them. So for canning, I don't blanch and I add them raw straight into the jars. This way it not only saves me time, but the beans still turn out tender and delicious. But I pack the beans tightly into jars and then I leave about an inch of headspace at the top. Now comes a crucial step, adding salt and hot water. For each quart jar, I like to add about 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, I like to use this Redmond's Real Salt, which I have explained before in the past. You guys know that I love this salt, but you can also use the normal canning salt. I especially like to use the Redmond's Real Salt in my canning because it's pure with no additives or anti-caking agents that could cloud the jars. Plus, the natural trace minerals give the beans a richer, fresher flavor compared to regular canning salt. And you do want to make sure that you don't use normal table salt because table salt does have additives and anti-caking agents that could cloud your liquid or even affect the taste. The salt here isn't just for the flavor, it also helps maintain the texture over time. And once we have all the jars with salt in them, we're going to add the boiling water, and I do mean boiling. Using water straight off the boil helps a few things happen all at once. It brings the beans up to a safe temperature quickly, it reduces the risk of shocking the glass jars, which could crack if you use cold or lukewarm water when you add it to the canner, and it helps remove air pockets around the beans, which is essential for creating a proper vacuum seal during canning. And then it starts softening the beans slightly, which means that they'll process more evenly once inside the pressure canner. And as we fill the jars, we always want to remember to leave about 1 inch of headspace at the top. This gives the liquid room to expand during processing without spilling over or preventing the jar from sealing properly. If you see bubbles rising up, you can use a tool to release them, and then you can top it off with more boiling water until you're right around that 1 inch line. And now that the beans are completely covered in boiling water, you'll notice how the liquid surrounds them perfectly. And that's exactly what we want. Beans that are fully submerged and ready to be sealed for safe storage. Any beans sticking out of the water could discolor, lose flavor, or shorten the shelf life of your jars. Now before we put the lids on, it's important to wipe each rim clean. Even the tiniest bit of salt or food residue can keep a jar from sealing properly. A simple swipe with a damp cloth or paper towel ensures that the lids can sit flush and create that tight vacuum seal. Next, we're going to place the lids on the jars and screw the bands on fingertip tight. Now that means snug, but not overly cranked down. You want the air inside of the jar to escape during the canning process so that once everything cools, the vacuum seal can form naturally. Now think of this as giving the jars just enough room to do their job. And now we're ready for pressure canning. Green beans are a low acid vegetable, which means that they must be pressure canned to be safe for long-term storage. One thing I do when I pull my pressure canner out of the box for the year is I always go through the rings, the seals, the vent hole. I want to make sure that everything's good because I do not want to have a failure in any of my pieces. A water bath canner isn't enough here. It simply can't reach the temperatures required to kill the bacteria that cause botulism. Now, pressure canning, on the other hand, brings the temperature well above boiling, ensuring your beans are both safe and shelf stable. Now we're going to start by adding the amount of water recommended for your pressure canner, usually a few inches at the bottom, but not enough to cover the jars. For me, I personally think that it's about 3 quarts. That's what I use and have had success with, but every pressure canner is different and everybody's method is different. And unlike water bath canning, these jars don't sit submerged. Instead, the steam under pressure does the work. So once the lid is locked in place, you'll let the canner vent steam for about 10 minutes before putting on the weight. Now this pushes out any trapped air, which allows the canner to reach and hold the proper temperature inside. So now we want it to get up to 10 pounds of pressure. And when it starts whistling through here, we know to put our weight on. For green beans, I process quarts for 10 pounds of pressure for about 25 minutes, and then pints I'll do for about 20 minutes. Now, if you live at a higher altitude, you'll need to increase the pressure to make up for the thinner air. And always check your canner manual for the correct settings for your area. During processing, keep a steady pressure, not too high and not dropping too low. It takes a little practice, but once you get the rhythm down, it's pretty simple. When the time is up, turn off the heat and let the canner cool and depressurize naturally. You don't want to rush this step. It can take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, but it's crucial for safety and for preventing liquid from siphoning out of your jars. Once the processing is done, let the canner depressurize naturally before opening. Carefully remove the jars and place them on a towel to cool. That popping sound you'll hear, that's the lid sealing. It's music to a homesteader's ears. Once cooled, check the seals, label the jars, and store them in a cool, dark place. And just like that, you've preserved your garden's harvest for months to come. If you found this video helpful, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more homesteading and simple living tips and tutorials, and let me know in the comments what's your favorite garden veggie to can. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.